Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this episode of BiblioTech On Air. I'm Rosanna.
I'm Israel.
I'm Ruby.
And today we're going to be discussing the recent film from Marvel Studios, Captain America Brave New World, starring Anthony Mackie as the new Captain America.
So before we do get into the summary, I do want to say this is going to be heavy spoilers.
Absolutely.
We're going to go in depth
Absolutely.
with what we liked, what we didn't like, what we felt worked, what we felt didn't work. We do have a set of questions to guide our discussion, our conversation, but spoiler warning. If you have not seen Captain America Brave New World,
Do not watch this.
stop it right now.
Stop it right now.
But also probably spoilers for other Marvel movies
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So
Yes.
just keep that in mind as well. Specifically probably like Captain America movies and the Eternals. But
Incredible
And the
Hulk.
Hulk.
yeah.
Possibly Avengers Doomsday coming
You
up.
know, we got some intel on that.
Yeah, we
so
did.
stay to the end of this podcast for that.
But with that being said, before I get into the summary, I do want to highlight some resources for Captain America, Red Hulk. So on Hoopla and cloudLibrary, we have Hulk, Modern Era Epic Collection, Who is Red Hulk by Joseph Loeb. So if you need a good starting off place for who Red Hulk is, what he does, why he's red, this is the perfect place for you on Hoopla and cloudLibrary. Then we also have 2 volumes. So we have Captain America Sam Wilson, The Complete Collection, Volume 1 by Rick Remender, and then Volume 2 by Nick Spencer, both which contain like a plethora of Sam Wilson Captain America comics and other tie-ins, like such as The Amazing Spider-Man, Inhumans as well. And then also what's pretty cool, it on Hoopla only, we have Captain America, The Shield of Sam Wilson, which is an audiobook. And it's like a anthology series. There's different short stories in there, 13 original short stories to be exact. And it's by Black American writers. So that is pretty awesome. If you're interested in, starting off somewhere, I would definitely recommend that. But with that being said, let's get right into that summary. So, set in the aftermath of Avengers Endgame, the film explores a world grappling with new geopolitical tensions. A massive celestial mass has emerged in the Indian Ocean, leading to global unrest. President Thaddeus Ross, portrayed by Harrison Ford, seeks to broker peace while secretly attempting to control a newly discovered metal, adamantium, found on the celestial island. This metal's immense value and potential spark in international conflicts, particularly between the US and Japan. Amidst the turmoil, Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, steps into his role as Captain America, confronting both external threats and internal doubts about his new mantle. The narrative delves into political intrigue with a subplot involving an assassination attempt on President Ross, orchestrated, spoiler warning, by Samuel Stearns, also known as the Leader, portrayed by Tim Blake Nelson. As tensions escalate, Ross undergoes a transformation into the Red Hulk, adding a personal vendetta to the global stakes. Sam, alongside allies like Joaquin Torres, which is the new Falcon, and Isaiah Bradley, a super soldier himself, must navigate these challenges to prevent a world war and address the emerging threats posed by both Ross and Stearns. So yeah, initial thoughts. What did y'all think?
I liked it. I'm the general audience, so I'm not a huge Marvel fan. Like, I haven't read 1,000 comics and I didn't know what to expect. So I liked it. I thought it was good.
Nice.
You're telling me you don't know what issue number 62 of Captain America from the 1970s is called?
You know what? I might.
Actually, the only one that I remember is that one.
Is that what-
That's so funny.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
What about you, Rosanna? What did you think?
I absolutely enjoyed it. I will be completely honest. The hype leading up to this movie, it seemed like people were just kind of like crapping on the film to, for lack of a better term, I guess, to describe that. But I solidly enjoyed it. It exceeded my personal expectations. I think that did really well. Is it perfect? No. Is it absolute trash like how some people are calling it? No. I would say walk into the film without like those expectations and you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I think a lot of critics they gave it negative scores. I think on Rotten Tomatoes we saw a 50% critic score.
Damn.
Which when I think about that, it's like, I mean, that kind of makes sense. They're looking at it from a storyline, an acting, a cinematography perspective, and so they're taking in a lot of things. They're considering a lot of things, and so that goes with kind of what you're saying. I feel that don't go in with high expectations, but also I mean, like view the movie from a critical perspective if you want, by all means. I really enjoyed it. I didn't have any expectations. Just to let y'all know, the audience, listeners, I'm a big Marvel fan, like the MCU. I read the comics, but I really enjoyed it. It wasn't great. It was good. It was pretty good to me. But we've mentioned it already. Sam Wilson is Captain America now. So how did y'all feel he held up as Captain America? Had y'all watched any of the previous Captain America movies?
Honestly, no. I wasn't like a fan of Captain America. I didn't really care for it. So seeing this, I had no expectations of, like Sam Wilson's now going to be the new Captain America. So I thought he did pretty good. I mean, I liked that one line where Harrison Ford or Thaddeus Ross was like, "You're not Steve Rogers."
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, you had to throw that in there in this movie.
Way to rub it in his
I
face.
know, like obviously he knows he's not Steve Rogers, and there was a whole previous like mini series that Disney put out called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and even in the name he's Falcon, but he's also coming to terms with that he's now Captain America, and it's like, dude, he knows he's not Steve Rogers. Like obviously his name is Sam Wilson.
That's a big source of internal conflict for him.
It really is. It really is. You know.
Well, your daughter doesn't love you, so.
Yeah, we do find that out, right? We do have some tie-ins from Incredible Hulk. They did. So I did like how they called Thaddeus Ross when he's running for president. They called him the Hulk Hunter, right? That was really cool. A good callback to that movie, Incredible Hulk.
And then the irony that you see from that later on.
Yeah, definitely. And we also see that he has this like difficult relationship with Betty, his daughter, who's played by Liv Tyler. And she does have a cameo at the very, 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 very end post-credit scene. I do see a difference, and correct me if y'all didn't feel the same way, but I feel Steve Rogers in the scene where Isaiah Bradley is, all the helicopters are on him, all of the soldiers are on him.
Oh, when he's getting arrested?
When he's getting arrested, I feel like Steve Rogers would have stepped in and be like, I'm not going to let you arrest him. We need to get to the bottom of this. And I did like seeing Sam be very assertive when he like barges in to where where President Ross is, and they're like, you can't go in there, you can't go in there. He's like, no, I gotta do what I want.
Yeah.
And then Thaddeus is like, let him in.
Yeah.
You know, I did like seeing that because he's still standing up for what he believes in, or he is standing up for what he believes in, and I think that's a great thing. That is Captain America.
Yeah, I could see that. Like maybe he should have stepped in because that was such a sad scene when he
It
was being
was really
and he was
sad.
like, "Don't hurt my suit." And I was
know.
like, "Leave that man's suit alone."
I think though, like personally, the way I inferred that was with the whole political climate, and we know that African American men aren't treated the best by law enforcement. I think that was Sam kind of like taking that into consideration and being like, just because he's not going to have the white privilege that Steve Rogers has. He's not going to have that long-lasting he's still stepping into the mantle kind of Captain America. So he's probably like, okay, what would be the best way to handle this as a Captain America perspective, but also like as a black Captain America.
I get you.
So
I get you.
That's what I think that might have been. But with that said, I think Steve would definitely be like, chill out.
Yeah.
Let's figure out what's going on.
You're right.
Yeah. So Sam, he isn't a super soldier like Steve Rogers. He doesn't have the serum. Do you think that hinders him? Do you think he can be an effective leader not having that super soldier serum? Especially when the Avengers, he brings them back together and they start facing some pretty big threats that are coming up. What do y'all think? Do you think it's gonna
I
hinder
would
him?
think so. I mean, because I feel like he has to have some type of fear. Like this dude can die more easily. But I don't know. I don't know if we really see that. Like when he's about to face the Hulk, and then they literally tell him he will kill you. Like what are you doing? And he still goes and like still fights. So I feel like he still doesn't have that fear in him, anyways.
I mean, he makes the joke. He's like, I should have taken that super serum. Like he makes the joke.
Yeah.
As far as like being an effective leader, I really think so. There's a line in the movie that alludes to that, where it's like, Captain America is who people look up to, but you're the Captain America that people can become. Not exact.
Aspire.
But I think that plays heavily in, kind of that humanization of Captain America a little bit. With that said, for cosmic threats that are coming.
Oh, yeah. Inject that serum right away,
yeah,
boy.
no, he's probably going to get his butt whooped. I mean, he's a great tactical fighter.
Yeah.
He's a great, like melee hand-to-hand combat. When it comes to probably fighting off, like a straight-up beam of energy, that shield better cover him entirely.
It's a little iffy. I will say that one of the things that I didn't like is, why isn't he wearing his armor all the freaking time? When you go see the president, wear your armor.
Yeah.
You know?
The Wakandians made that special for you,
Exactly. But also when he goes to the base with Joaquin Torres to see what's going on, where the leader's at, he just takes his shield. Bro, you need to wear your suit. He fought like multiple guards. If you had your suit on, you would have freaking destroyed them right away, you know? Like, why aren't you wearing your suit?
I mean, definitely plot, but also I'm sure a hoodie fits over that. Like, come on.
Yeah, you know, I'm sorry if it's uncomfortable. Like, you know, you're Captain America. That's the least of things that you have to deal with. I will also say too, and I hope that they do address what I'm kind of saying, because for Iron Man, he was just like beep. You know, he's suited up all real fast. Like, that needs to be implemented.
Maybe he's just taking a different approach. Maybe it's like Wolverine's cowl. You know, it's pretty special, so he only wears it on special occasions.
Maybe it takes some time to get into the suit too, because they don't have like Captain America. I mean, they don't have Tony Stark anymore to kind of just be like,
true,
boop. So maybe he has to be like, I have to change into it. And what if, you know, it starts chafing? What if he has to put like lotion on or something so it doesn't chafe, you know? So.
Yeah. So in terms of Thaddeus Ross, right? Harrison Ford, he stepped in to play the character after William Hurt's passing. How did you feel about his performance? How do you think Harrison Ford did?
I think
I like that he shaved his mustache.
He did shave his mustache, yes.
It was confusing me, though. I was like, where'd this guy come from? But then I remembered he had a mustache.
And they did like a little homage, because I think while he was like campaigning, he had the mustache, and then we find out the leader's like, you need to shave your mustache if you want to win, probably.
Yeah.
You know,
they straight up say that.
Yeah, they straight up say that. What about, how do you think Harrison Ford did, Rosanna?
I think he did really well. I think he really embraced the kind of corrupt politician that Thaddeus Ross was representing, but still with that conflict of, like, you know, wanting his daughter to reach back out to him, knowing that she hates him. I think he tiptoed that line pretty well. The shot for him, and I guess this wasn't like so much acting, but it's like, you know, I guess his commitment to kind of showing himself off, because he's like, what, in his 70s?
Oh yeah,
Harrison Ford. And at the end, after he goes back to being like, you know, his person after the Red Hulk rampage, you see him as like a frail old man, just like kind of like freaking out a little bit in the ambulance bed. And I thought that was a really, really nice, like, you know, really good shot.
Yeah. I think Harrison Ford did an amazing job. I did like, because Thaddeus Ross is like, William Hurt's portrayal of Thaddeus Ross, oh man, that was amazing. He was Thaddeus Ross. Like how Chris Evans is Captain America, how Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. William Hurt, he portrays Thaddeus Ross perfectly. I'm not sure. I think Harrison Ford did well where Thaddeus Ross, the character, is at now, because he's trying to bring his anger down. He's trying to change a little bit, and we even see one of his guards say that he's different. He's a different person now, or he's a different man. Which, I mean, it's not true. He's like still horrible. We do find out that he uses the leader and he like imprisons him, and he's like, if you help me win the election for president, I will pardon you. I will let you go. And that doesn't happen.
And guess what?
He
lied.
It literally
a politician lied?
Baffling.
But still, on the topic of Thaddeus, Red Hulk, do you feel that the build-up, did it feel natural? Do you feel like it felt forced?
I liked it, because like I felt like there was so many scenes where he could have already turned into the Hulk, but they didn't. They held it back and were like, no, we're gonna build this up until the end. So I liked that, because I thought for sure he was gonna turn into the Hulk in that submarine or wherever they were.
I think it was done very well too. Because obviously with the trailers and the marketing, it was spoiled, but that's going to be a big draw for them. They want to get people to come see this movie. So obviously they're going to showcase Red Hulk. But that buildup was done very well. And I like when the primary conflict is resolved, there's kind of like a little breather period towards the end of the third act, where he's having the press conference at the White House. And it's like, oh, okay, you know, it's chill. Things have been resolved. But then, bam, here comes Red Hulk, you know, after being provoked. And I thought that was done really well. people did complain. I saw that Red Hulk didn't have a whole lot of screen time. With that build-up they had, and I think the fight at the end, I personally did not have a problem with the amount of screen time he had. I thought it was a nice amount.
Do they know how much it costs for Red Hulk to be on screen?
I mean, you can kind of see where the budget was starting to run out when he does the transformation again at the end, where they pan to his shadow. It's like, okay, fair. That's a lot of money. Save it where you can.
Too. Oh my God. I do want to talk about one of my favorite scenes, right? Because on the topic of the build-up for Red Hulk, right? The scene at the Celestial Island,
was so
where Thaddeus
cool.
is inside the ship. He has the leader talking in his ear, get angry, let go, let go. Yeah, just like, rightly so. Leader, rightly so. If we're thinking about it, yeah,
He big mad.
Yeah, and so, like, we see, like, Thaddeus, like fuming.
Yeah.
He's, like, grabbing one of the parts of the ship, and, like, it's, like, all
the indents are forming.
But that whole scene, everything going on outside, inside the ship. We also get scenes of like the Japanese as well. So they're at the celestial site because, of course, it has adamantium, right? And they were making a treaty. Thaddeus Ross was making a treaty. It fell through for whatever reason. Well, because of the leader, we find out. And so everyone's going to Celestial Island to get adamantium. I want to be the first one. I want to be the second one. Everyone's fighting for it, right? But man, that scene was amazing.
Yeah.
Like seeing Captain America fly in the sky, slicing freaking planes.
That was so cool.
Wings. We also see Joaquin Torres, Falcon, doing
Baby
his
Falcon.
thing as well.
It was nice to see, especially because I think I heard this was the first time we see that Celestial Island after it was
After
Like
Eternals.
the
after Eternals.
Eternals.
Yeah, and it was like there's so much that happened in between, and no one was talking about that
Yeah, the
island.
acknowledgement of that. But I really like that they touched on it because I think
Yeah.
the stuff with like the Celestials is so fascinating in the Marvel universe, and finally seeing them come back to it.
And where things are going, it was time to talk about
Oh yeah,
the big old,
hand coming
the
out
big
of
old
the
hand. Not mind you, the hand, also that
Oh
big
yeah,
old
the
head.
big head.
One of the things that and I hope they take it in this direction because in the comics of that Jason's Aaron Avengers run, there's Celestial, right, on Earth, and it's in Antarctica. And it ends up becoming the new Avengers Tower. So that's their headquarters.
Cool.
So I could see it going in the direction.
That would
I
be
hope it does.
sick. That would be so sick.
Everybody's fighting, and the Avengers are like, we need to take charge. This is going to be our headquarters.
That's tight.
And
That'd be really
that's
cool.
it. Man, but that would be so amazing. But yeah, that's one of the scenes that I loved. I feel like there was so much tension. It was so intense. Everything going on outside. Captain America really trying to get the Japanese pilots to be like, dude, we're trying to help you. And then finally at the end, they're like, oh, they're trying to help us.
I was like, oh, okay, let's back off. But even then, with the whole political conflict going on, that still doesn't have the Japanese government fully on board. It's until I think Thaddeus resigns as president after having his outburst that he's finally like the Japanese government's like, okay, we take that as a sign of like you're serious about wanting to work together.
So we had three major villains, right? We had the leader, Serpent, and then Red Hulk. So who do you feel like stood out the most, and who do you felt kind of wasted maybe?
Okay, so Giancarlo Esposito, who played Serpent, he's a phenomenal actor. I do wish he could have been more in the movie, had more of a villain presence, because it was just kind of like, he was like the ease-in.
I didn't even notice that they were like him and his army were the Serpent Society or whatever.
Yep.
He's supposed to be what? Sidewinder, I think?
Yeah, I think so. They were supposed to use him a lot more, and they were supposed to use the Serpent Society like characters from the Serpent Society a lot more, but for whatever reason they did cuts. Maybe in the directors.
I heard there were reshoots. Like there were like a
There
lot
was
of
like
reshoots.
a bunch of reshoots,
Which is
I
unfortunate.
think there was different directors as well at some point.
But I do wish they could have used him a bit more because, again, phenomenal actor. I mean, we kind of know he's typecast as a villain.
Rightly so.
He's the ultimate villain.
Like for the moments that he did have in the movie, he absolutely stole those scenes.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, I feel like underutilized. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no to more Red Hulk.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not gonna say more to that. But on the topic of Red Hulk, Another one of my favorite scenes was the fight scene, like towards the end, right? The pinnacle.
And the cherry blossoms.
Yeah, and the cherry blossoms at the White
The
House.
Washington Monument catching it again.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. So, and we also get a shot of like the White House destroyed.
Yeah.
You know, like we have Red Hulk grabbing like a chopper or whatever,
Yeah.
and he throws it at another chopper, and Sam Wilson is like they're fighting on top of the White House. That was an amazing scene.
That was cool.
That was that was great.
That's where the budget was.
Yeah, rightly so. I'm glad. And then it does shift over. This scene does shift over to the cherry blossoms, right? And I do like the juxtaposition.
Oh yeah, because the cherry blossoms was a gift from Japan.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they're fighting there in the middle while they're having this feud or trying to resolve the
Yeah.
treaty.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit ironic because
Isn't it
Ross,
ironic?
just a little earlier in the movie, he calls Betty and he's like, "Hey, so can we go on a walk, through the cherry blossoms?" She's like, "Sure, Dad." And it's like, dude, you're trying to like you're building you're rebuilding your relationship with your daughter, and you just destroyed
The field that
fields
y'all
where y'all are
were
supposed to go
reconnect.
Like
walk.
there's that significance behind it, But I don't know about y'all. I saw some people kind of, again, going based off of online, like, reviews and criticism, that a lot of people were expecting Betty to come towards the end, not where she appeared, but like before, and end up being the one to talk her dad down. That was kind of what I did expect
Yeah.
when I was watching the movie. But I'm not super upset that it was Sam that ended up doing it, because that kind of shows he doesn't rely on his strength and brute force. He's still kind of like, that Captain America mantle. Can I talk, my way through this without having to fight or die myself? So I kind of did like that. But with that said, I do see the expectation of like having Betty come through and being like, just such an emotional crux at that moment.
But I feel like that's so typical as well. So
Yeah, I agree. I did like that it was Sam Wilson, who talked him down. But homeboy, you almost died
multiple times. He almost got his head crushed.
You saw, you almost died.
You got lucky.
he was like, if Iron Man didn't get his head crushed by Thanos, then I might not.
Captain America.
Oh, Captain America, my bad. Oh, wow. Look at what happened.
But yeah, I think this is a good first big villain for Captain America. It has political aspects in it where he has to be a diplomat.
That political intrigue.
And he's facing a Hulk, and another Hulk is introduced into the MCU. But yeah, he literally almost died.
Yeah,
the
the stakes in this movie felt very real.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like there was gonna be a cop out to
Yeah.
me. I genuinely thought like, oh, this could go south at any moment and easily be like the next lead in for whatever film is coming out.
But on a scale of 1 to 10, what do y'all rate Captain America: Brave New World?
Maybe like an 8.
An 8?
8 out of 10, yeah.
Yeah.
I was between an 8 and a 9
Okay.
after seeing the movie, and now like having a few days of processed it, I would probably do like an 8.5. Again, it really exceeded my expectations. I thought the acting was well. I thought casting was done well. The shots, a lot of the shots worked very well. It does get a little muddled at points, and then the CGI towards the end, while the fight scene was amazing, it's a little but it wasn't enough to completely detract me from enjoying that cinematic experience. So
Yeah.
8.5.
For me, I give it, I was in the beginning at a 7.5, but after doing some research, after discussing it here, I'm going to bump it up to an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was a good experience. We're back, baby. We're back. I feel like I'm always like,
I think so.
We're back? Are we not back? Oh,
Are we
we're not back. But I feel like this is a good solo film. I
Yeah,
liked it.
for
I
sure.
really enjoyed it. That ends our discussion for Captain America: Brave New World. We hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't seen the film, hopefully you didn't watch this, 'cause
And
it's
then
just
you're gonna
spoiled
go
for
watch
you.
Or if you
it.
did watch it and we spoiled it for you, that entices you to go see it.
Yeah, that's your thing. If that's your thing, or entices you to check out the comics that we have.
Yeah.
Which, again, so if you don't have a BiblioTech library card, you can register at one of our 4 locations here in San Antonio, Texas /Bear County, or visit our website at bibliotech.org. It's going to be one of the first tabs right there. Register for card. You get your library card. It's a password you create, and then you have access to cloudLibrary, Hoopla, Masterclass, a bunch of online learning resources, and things like that. Everything, literally. It's basically a Brave New World for you with your BiblioTech library card. Yeah. But again, so we have Hulk Modern Era Epic Collection, who is Red Hulk. We have Captain America Sam Wilson, the Complete Collection Volume 1, and then Volume 2, Both of those are available on Hoopla and cloudLibrary. And then we have that audiobook, which I'm probably going to be checking out, Captain America, The Shield of Sam Wilson, which features 13 original short stories.
On that note, I'm Rosanna.
I'm Israel.
I'm Ruby.
And we'll catch y'all on the next episode.
Bye.